Rachel Hill.
Well, welcome to Her and Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, with Her and the Huddle, and I am here with Mr. Marshawn Powers, who is still out on assignment in Maryland with us. And Mr. Powers, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. I just got some sad news right before we got on air.
All right.
One of my security guards from my high school at Jane Addams had passed away. So I want to give a special shout out to Mr. Jerry Coleman, his family. You guys are in my special prayers. I mean, not too many security guards care about all the students, and this was a guy who, nobody at Jane Addams ever had a bad word to ever say about him. So I mean, I just wanted to give a shout out because I just got the news like probably like 5 minutes before I got on air. So yeah, but other than that, I'm doing great. I got a chance to actually get some things figured out here while on assignment in the DMV, and now I'm ready to talk some sports, man. I created a rundown today of some things that was on my mind at 12 o'clock late last night. So I felt like, man,
I was
I'm ready to
I
get
was
to it.
knocked out by then, but yeah, condolences to you. I
Thank you,
remember,
thank you.
in high school, our security guards used to say, walk and talk, walk and talk.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we used to get that a lot, but I was pretty
yeah.
good, so I didn't have to worry about security guards. One time I did get called to the principal in senior year because somebody had made me mad in art class, so I kind of took my paintbrush and stuck it in his eye. And the
Oh
principal
man.
actually called my parents about that. And then I just remember being in the principal's office with the person I did it to, and he was just being dramatic and kept, his eye closed the whole time. It was like, she hit me in my eye. She hit me in my eye. So Waller Ciclo, I do apologize for what I did. I'm sure I've apologized before. But yeah, he called my parents on that too. But I don't know what happened. He made me mad. And I don't know what I think I probably didn't mean to do it. I probably meant to, strike him, but not in his eye. So I do apologize for that. But yeah, first lady sometimes, couldn't be handled out here. You know what I'm saying? I
the
was a
first
bad
the
girl
first lady
sometimes.
was a little the first lady was a little spicy growing up, huh?
Yeah, man. I was a little aggressive, but that's what happened when you grow with nothing with boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't play games like that. So it was, I didn't mean to stick him in his eye. I meant to stick him, but just didn't mean to do it in his eye. So, I apologize for all that. So, man, we got a lot of news that's came out today, man. How about that? So, two big free agents. Well, I don't even know if that count as free agents, but the Cowboys released Jalen Smith and the Pats released Stephon Gilmore. And one of the things you were asking is, whether or not these players would have been a good fit for the Browns. But that really doesn't matter anymore because they were able to go to new teams. So what do you say? Jalen Smith went to Green Bay, and then Stephon Gilmore went to Carolina. So that's not
Yeah.
something that we even have to think about. But what does that tell you, though, Marshawn, with such moves being made so early in the season? We're headed into week 5, so half of the
Um,
season isn't even
yeah.
down, only one quarter.
I mean, honestly, what it tells me is that a lot of these teams, I'm gonna start with the Cowboys, but teams like the Cowboys believe in either a lot of the undrafted rookies that they brought in, and B, a lot of the rookies that they brought in. You got guys like Keanu Neal who did a position switch. He went from safety to linebacker. You got Micah Parsons, who's my leading candidate to be defensive rookie of the year. And that guy, he's moving like he's a vet in the game. He's moving like
JOK is rated number 1 by Pro Football Focus. You
ah,
tripping? You
man.
tripping,
See,
man?
listen, JOK to me is a linebacker in a safety's body. So I don't really consider JOK to be a linebacker. But if I mean, man, see, Rachel, you put me in a predicament already 5 minutes in the show. Am I? Do
Hey,
I?
I'm just giving you facts, man.
I know.
I mean,
I like JOK. I like JOK.
we're
That's
only
my. I mean,
5 weeks in.
yeah,
5 weeks in. He rated number 1 to give me something different today, but you
yeah,
have to take that into consideration.
yeah. No, I mean that's true. But I mean JOK came on a little late. You know, I mean, if we being honest, Michael Parsons was banging in the preseason. I remember watching Hard Knocks, and he was begging the defensive coordinator to get back in the game in preseason game #1. So I mean,
Don't say preseason don't matter though.
Man, listen, I don't care what nobody says. We seen last night watching the Cavs that preseason matters because you don't lose by 40 points in the preseason and it don't matter. So preseason matters. But no, I mean, I've been watching Michael Parsons since, you know, he was in the Big Ten at Penn State, and the dude has just been a monster since then. So, you know, I got a little bit more knowledge on Michael Parsons than I do JOK. JOK is a beast. He a dog. He a dog because he with the dog pound. But you know, it just Michael Parsons, Jabril Cox, Keanu Neal, Leighton Vander Esch, all of those guys just made Jalen Smith expandable. You know, I had one of my friends arguing with me earlier, like, oh, he had 150 tackles last year. Remember when DeQuell Jackson had 100 tackles for the Browns, and what did they do? Got rid of him with no problem. You know, it don't matter. It don't matter how many tackles you do, but can you do anything else outside of that? So I believe that, you know, the Cowboys kind of felt like, you know, they didn't really want to pay him, you know, $15 million over the next 2 years when they don't really have to, you know. So, I mean, they just kind of parted ways. I kind of felt like it was early, you know. I mean, if I were the Cowboys, you should have did it, you know, either in the off season, this upcoming off season, or did it way before the preseason started to give the guy a chance to learn a new defense and all like that. So, I mean, it's great that he went to. It's great that he went under assist. Yeah, he went to Green Bay. You know, Matt LaFleur, that's what they call him. But he was on the coaching staff at Notre Dame in 2014 when Jalen Smith was a star at Notre Dame. So I mean, it's a little bit familiar. You know what I'm saying? Familiar. I can't get the word out.
Familiarity. Right, yeah.
Familiarity.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's a little bit of familiarity there with Matt LaFleur and Jalen Smith. As far as for the Patriots, I honestly don't understand that move. You know, that's your best corner.
But I want to go back right quick to Jalen, because you with Green Bay now, so you good. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of those programs that's up there with, you know, the Patriots. So
yeah, he upgraded in my opinion.
Yeah, ain't like Bill Belichick. You know how normally he banished his undesirables to the Browns. Ain't like he got sent to Jacksonville. So yeah, so I think he almost got the better end of the deal, because, you know, the Green Bay is always in contention. Dallas is having a heck of a year, but he made off pretty good, if you ask me. So he be all right.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll see him on Christmas.
Yeah, I can't wait to. Yeah, I can't wait to be able to get that matchup against some of our tight ends. Because one thing about Jalen Smith, I mean, he has the straight line speed. He's a dog when it goes straight line, but when it comes going side to side, sideline to sideline, I feel like he lost a step after that injury. So I'm excited to see what he does now that you're out of the big star up to the frozen tundra. You know, let's see if maybe a new scenery, you know, is what Jalen Smith needed. Now, I don't think that's the case for Gilmore, Stephon Gilmore. I feel like he's gonna ball out wherever he goes. I think Carolina got a little bit better on defense. You know, I mean, you added, in my opinion, still top 5 corner in the league. You know, I shout out Bill Belichick. He believed in a Turk to make his number 1 cornerback. J.C. Jackson is now the new CB1 for the Patriots, Maryland Turk. But you know, I still think that Stephon Gilmore he's 2 years removed from being Defensive Player of the Year. Now, I don't think you lose that much of a step within 2 years. I think the Patriots is being the Patriots, and is what I'm going to say, and that's being cheap. Now, they don't want to pay him.
Did he have a good game on Sunday?
He didn't. No, Gilmore hasn't played. He hasn't played all season. Yeah, he hasn't played all season. So this is just a matter of fact of the Patriots just being the Patriots, and you know they're being cheap. Off injury? Yeah, he had a. I want to say, give me a second. I want to say it's like a oblique or something like that. But I know he was on a PUP for the first 6 weeks, so he's eligible. He's eligible. Had he not got traded to the Carolina Panthers, he'd have been eligible to play this upcoming Sunday. But because the Patriots put him on a PUP and he got traded, he's not eligible to play until week 7. So, I'm excited to see how he's going to fit in down there in Carolina. They're already a top 3 defense. They lost Joe Horn. They lost J.C. Horn to for the season to a broken foot. So I'm looking forward to him to seeing him step in and kind of taking over that cornerback number 1, that CB1 role for the Panthers, and elevate that defense a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, no opportunity for the Browns to get them and shore up that defense. They were gone really quickly. This is not too long after the announcements were made. They were snatched up by other teams. So best of luck to them fellas, except for when they play against us. And now we move on. So one of the things that you had wanted to know was, should we worry about Baker and OBJ's continuity? Should we worry about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Since Baker and OBJ have came together, they got one of the lowest QBRs between quarterback and wide receiver in the past, I want to say 10 years. Man, I thought when OBJ was brought here, he was brought here to be kind of a guy that takes the top off the offense, but it doesn't seem like that. It doesn't seem like Baker and OBJ can see eye to eye on the field. Off the field, I think I think Baker looks up to OBJ as far as like the guy that's in the limelight. I think that's what Baker wants, is he wants that attention that Odell is getting. But in a sense, in order to get that, you guys should be, dogs on the field. Yeah, you got to perform, because if you perform, you'll get all the luxuries of all of that. You'll be in so many Progressive commercials together, but you got to perform, and they haven't done it, and like, man, at first it got to a point where people were saying, "Oh, is it OBJ? It's OBJ. It's OBJ," but it's kind of like,
I
okay,
feel like a lot of blame was placed on OBJ initially, because nobody wants to blame Baker or criticize Baker for anything. OBJ initially took the blame for stuff. So you're correct with that.
And now, OBJ, Jarvis is gone, OBJ is back, and we're still seeing these same issues with our quarterback. We're still seeing the miscues on the passes. We're still seeing the happy feet inside of the pocket where he just, he don't know how to properly move in and out of the pocket at sometimes, and then again, just the miscues, we're not seeing the connection there that it's supposed to be. If you have guys, I'm trying to think of a receiver that was traded mid-season and had instant continuity. Antonio Brown. It really don't count because AB and Tom Brady play together in New England. But for AB to
like
come,
a game, right?
Yeah.
Like one game.
But for AB and Tom to come together after one game and find some continuity, at the end of the day,
you talking about Tom Brady. There's a big difference between Baker Mayfield and Tom Brady. I could spend a week with Tom Brady and be one of the best receivers in the league. It's Tom Brady. There's a difference between him and Baker Mayfield.
There is, but don't tell Browns fans. Don't tell the diehards that. The diehards feel like
what? They delusional then.
Yeah, the diehards feel like Baker Mayfield is the best quarterback in the AFC North.
Oh my God,
Baker Mayfield is the best quarterback in the AFC. So
they are delusional. And last year for the season open up, I said he was the 4th best, and Joe Burrow hadn't even taken a down yet. But I'm gonna respond to your comments when we come back from break. So we gotta take a break really quickly. Okay. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Nearly 7 years after the killing of Tamir Rice, Cleveland became one of the first cities to implement a policy on how police officers should manage difficult interactions with children. From our talkback line, we have Mrs. Viola Thomas.
Hello, my name is Viola Thomas, and I just had to call in and give a special thanks to the NAACP and the United Way for allowing the parents to come on and talk about how they felt about the police killing the children. And just to hear about what was about to take place with the police and the youth. Oh my goodness, WOVU 95.9, I just want to thank you for what you're doing and the awareness that you're bringing throughout the community. My phone
Cleveland's policy calls for officers to consider factors such as perceived age, physical build, and emotional state during interactions. Learn more about this policy at the 10th Consent Decree discussion on the topic of youth and policing, Wednesday, October 13th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Brought to you by the United Way of Greater Cleveland, the Cleveland chapter of the NAACP, Cuyahoga Community College, and WOVU 95.9 FM. The 10th discussion will be moderated by Fox 8 News reporter Alex Stokes, and she will be joined by panelists Gabriella Celeste of the Schubert Center for Child Studies at Case Western Reserve University, Zuri Hitchcock, a graduate of Cuyahoga Community College, Officer Brandon Tisdale of Cuyahoga Community College, Timothy Tramble of the Cleveland Police Monitoring Team, and Chief Calvin Williams of the Cleveland Division of Police. For more information and free registration, visit UnitedWayOfGreaterCleveland.org. That's UnitedWayOfGreaterCleveland.org for the 10th conversation on the consent decree. We will broadcast it live right here on WOVU 95.9 FM and stream it on WOVU.org and on our free mobile app. Join us Wednesday, October 13th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. on Youth and Policing, because together we can elevate change in the community. This is brought to you by the United Way of Greater Cleveland, the Cleveland chapter of the NAACP, Cuyahoga Community College, and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. Make sure that you are listening to us live. You can listen to us online at WOVU.org. You can join the conversation at 216-271-0959, excuse me. And you can also download that WOVU app so you can take us on the go with you and listen to your favorite personalities. So don't forget to download that app. I hope you have as well. So Marshawn, we were just talking about whether or not we should be worried about about the continuity between Baker and I was about to call him Orenthal Jay Simpson. I meant OBJ. So Odell Beckham Jr. Excuse me. I think we need to be worried about his continuity with everyone when it comes to passing. If you notice, there haven't been many pass plays called for touchdowns. You notice that?
Yeah. Every time we get within the 5 to 10 yard line, it's always a run pass. Or if it is a pass play, it's a short little dunk down to Kareem or Hooper or somebody of that nature. It's never like,
the 2-point conversion was a short pass.
Yeah, it's never nothing like what we used to seeing. A couple years ago when we seen the long passes to OBJ, Jarvis, Wood, DPJ. We're 4 games in and I've yet to see that.
Yeah, so I think that Kevin Stefanski realized that there's an issue with Baker because this is how he's play calling the game. So that's something we need to look at too. I don't think it's an Odell issue. I think they get along fine outside, but Baker was just messing up when it came to everybody. And, that's something that was glaringly clear. So I think we need to start worrying about Baker. He's one of the last quarterbacks in Pro Football Focus. His numbers are not there. He's not looking good. And right now it's kind of easy to kind of read what he's going to do. And it's going to be important that he actually connects with the receivers because the thing is, you have receivers who have hands. Baker has put the ball in some very tight windows, and his receivers have been able to come out with that ball. So I don't understand, it shouldn't be a trust thing because receivers have delivered on him before. I'm wondering, is it a Baker thing? Is it an arm thing? Is that left shoulder bothering him more than we know? What are the Browns covering up? Because if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm not going to say anything is wrong with him because I'm not going to give my opponent bulletin material so they can go after that shoulder and make it even worse. But something is going on with Baker, and if it's not fixed in this game coming up, then they might need to sit him. and play Case Keenum. You paid Case Keenum almost $7 million to be a backup. You might need to sit Baker for a week or two to get that shoulder together so he can come back out and play. Yeah. I'm thinking that might be an issue, not sit Baker because he's a bad quarterback, but sit him because he might be more hurt than we think he is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they will that they're gonna sit Baker. I think they're gonna live and die by Baker. You know, honestly.
But if he's hurt though.
I mean, look at Jedrick Wills. Jedrick Wills is out there hobbling around on one ankle.
They're forcing him. He about to be sat down too. He need to be sat down too because he can't make it through a full game. He always having to lead the field or go in the tent. At a certain point, you need him to heal up so he can be there for you the rest of the season. I'd rather him be gone now. Yes, we're going through a tougher stretch of games. And how about when we did the schedule game, we saw a lot of these games that we thought were going to be easy. They're actually not going to be easy because these teams are better than we thought we were. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still sticking with my 14-3 prediction, but we about to hit a tough stretch and a tough road. But you know, you might need to sit Jedrick as well too to let him rest up and let that ankle heal up because it's bothering him in every game. This is 4 weeks now, so there's something going on.
No, for sure. I think here's my thing behind it. I think that the Browns will probably already have sat Jedrick, but the thing behind it, they don't really have good depth behind Jedrick at that left tackle spot.
They can bring in Blake, a guy. Blake Hands, bring in Blake, a guy named Blake.
Yeah, I mean, they've tried Blake Hands, but I mean, there's something. I guess Blake Hands ain't really showed them what they want at that left tackle position. You know, they've brought in the rookie James Hudson. They brought him in. I guess they're waiting on the swing tackle Chris Hubbard to come back because I believe if Chris Hubbard would be healthy, I think then Jedrick Wills will probably be down. But because Chris Hubbard is out, I think the Browns can't afford to have your starting left tackle out and then your backup swing tackle out as well. So if it's they signed a guy this week off the Texans practice squad. Never heard of this guy before. Name is kind of funny. So I think with the signing of him, I think that kind of will probably push the Browns to all right, you know, we're gonna sit Jedrick, we're gonna sit all of our unhealthy linemen and figure this thing out and try to figure out, you know, how we're going to go about this without our guys out there until they can get healthy. But no, I agree with you, man. If you're not healthy, I don't need you out there. I don't need an unhealthy quarterback, unhealthy lineman, wide receiver. Hell, I don't even need an unhealthy coach. I need everybody to be out there 10 toes to the ground. I need you to be ready to work when you're out there. And right now, these first 4 games, you know, I'm starting to see we're seeing good wins. We're seeing confidence without the team. But then at the end of the day, I'm starting to see, you know, I'm starting to see things that I feel like could be better. Like what we talk about all the time. The pass game can always be better. I feel like the linebackers sometimes could be better. But it all starts with one thing we always say, number 6. It all starts with him because he gets all the glory if they win or lose. So he's going to get all of this backlash and this criticism from me and you.
Yeah, and also too, he had just bet on himself. I mean, the Browns, I guess, didn't want to touch the contract, but also you have to think about, you know, this is his season for him to play like he deserves $40 million. So that's something that he really needs to think, and you think that he would want to play and execute because, you know, he know that this is the season. So, and the Browns look like geniuses holding off because he can't continue to have games like this. And if he does, you're not going to pay him $20 million. And could you possibly go after Aaron Rodgers or something like that, you know, because Aaron Rodgers don't want to be in Green Bay anymore. Could you have him sign here? Because good quarterbacks, they would love to have weapons like they have, right, like the Cleveland Browns have. And I hate dogging on Baker. You know, I used to be very good at it, but I'm thinking, what if we just had a better quarterback? I'm thinking today, you said you like Josh Allen. What if we had Josh Allen? What if we waited? What if we had Lamar Jackson? You know, what if John Dorsey didn't think as favorably of Baker as he did? You know, we could have somebody else. So just thinking about that, we can have somebody that can have all these weapons and know how to use them. And right now, I'm removing OBJ for the equation. I think we should worry about Baker. So we got a big game coming up on Sunday, man, against one of the better teams in the league right now. A team that's balling, had a big win over the Oakland Raiders, not the Oakland, the Las Vegas Raiders, who were previously undefeated, and they went ahead and did their thing. So we said we were going to do a little preview of that game. What say you, Mr. Powers?
Well, first things first. I know my guy Willie is somewhere right now. Probably a little upset that the Chargers knocked off his Raiders.
I know. I wanted to text him so bad.
Yeah, but I think that, man, the if I'm not mistaken, I want to say the Chargers are favored by 1.5. I think that's ridiculous.
It's a half now.
Yeah, it's a 1.5. I think that's ridiculous. I don't think the Chargers are better than the Browns in any aspect. I don't think they're better defensively. I don't think they're better offensively. Nothing. I mean, in my opinion, they may have arguably the better quarterback because I think, man, Justin Herbert is just lights out, a monster. But everything else, they don't have the good running. They don't have the good running game. I think Austin Eckler, at best, is average running back, above average running back. I don't think he's a Pro Bowler, anything of that nature, but I think he's, a fairly decent running back. They got two good wide receivers, a good line, a good tight end. The coach is a defensive-minded coach and all of that, but they don't have the dynamic duo of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And honestly, they have two good wide receivers, like I said, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, but they don't have a good room. They don't have a better room than the Browns. So as I expected last week, I'm going into this game with the same expectations. I'm going into this game hoping to see a pass game. We've seen a run dimensional game the first 4 weeks. I need to see a game that's won through the air. I mean, like you texted me earlier, you said the Chargers are number 5. And
they are 29th in defense. So I'm okay. And I texted you as well. I'm okay if you have them run the ball because they're so terrible in the run defense. So Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt could have a banner day and tear it up. So if we didn't have any, passing touchdowns, I would be okay for that because you game planned and you scheme for this team and you hit them at their weakness. So I'm okay with that. If there's not a passing touchdown, you run you run your horses.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, but I look at it like this, going into the Vikings game, the Vikings were much, much better at stopping the run than they were. They were much better at stopping the run than they were at stopping the pass. For the majority of the game, they was doing very good at stopping the pass, and they couldn't stop the run. So I think going into this game, the Chargers probably focusing this whole week on stopping the run. Yeah. I think that's what their game plan is. Look, how do we stop Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb? Which that's virtually impossible. That's like trying to solve Chinese. That's like trying to solve Chinese math, man. It's not the easiest task at doing. So
because they're gonna have to pick their poison whether or not they try to stop the run or the pass, but they fit defensively against the pass. So this is one reason. Why I'm like, okay, Baker potentially could have a bad day again, which he can ill afford to have. But your running game probably will save the day.
Well, I mean that would be 5 weeks in, so that's already a third of the season. A third of the season that your running back saved your team, saved you. So should we be paying these running backs $20 million a piece, Chubb and Hunt?
Yep. But this is our identity, though. We are a run first team, and that's our identity. We definitely not a pass first team because look at the numbers. They tell you that. And it would be very bad going into the 5th game not having a touchdown by a wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And then next week we have, if I'm not mistaken, next week we got the Cardinals next week. So
Kyler Murray.
Quarterback. We can't go into week 6 and we do have a run game because I don't want it to be week 12 and we're like, Baker only got 6 touchdowns and 2 touchdowns to the receivers, but Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt got about 15 rushing touchdowns on the ground. That's cool. I like it. I love the fact that our rush offense is amazing, but that's not who's going to get the credit at the end of the day. the person who's going to get the credit at the end of the day wears number 6. So if you're going to get all the credit, I need you to act. I need you to play like you're getting all the credit. I need you to step up. I need to see a 300. I need to see. I want to. I mean, it doesn't necessarily even have to be a 300-yard game. I'm perfect with Baker throwing a 200-yard, 250-yard game, 5 touchdowns. I'm perfectly fine with that. That would be an immaculate game for me. 250, 275 yards, 5 TDs, 4 TDs. I would come on here on next Tuesday with I do have a Baker shirt that says I woke up feeling dangerous. I will come on here with that shirt and I will say, look, Baker, I don't have nothing bad to say about you no more for a couple weeks. That's all you're going to get out of me. You ain't going to get the whole season, but you're going to get it for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm expecting a run-heavy game. No, that's when, I'm screaming at TV like I was against Minnesota. Run the ball because, you got to exploit that matchup. And, that's what you got to do. So it don't get much more simpler than that. But we got to take another break right quick. You are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. We will be right back.
Has awarded millions of dollars each year to positive, impactful organizations that serve you and your community. And now it's time to put the money where your mouth is. So we're introducing Lift Every Voice, a platform created to hear directly from you. We want to know what's important to you and what's important for your community. So St. Luke's Foundation can put all these millions in all the right places. And sharing your voice is easy to do. Go to LEV216.org and sign up for the Lift Every Voice email and text updates. It's completely anonymous and totally free. And your voice will impact where, why, and how St. Luke's Foundation spreads that monetary love. Head over to lev216.org and sign up now to help lift every voice in our community. This message is brought to you by St. Luke's Foundation and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I'm here with Mr. Marshawn Powers, who is out on assignment in the DMV area out in Maryland, who's going to be going to the Ohio State University and Maryland game that's taking place in Columbus, Ohio, but that's towards the end of the week, as we ain't got no Terrapin comments just yet. I'm really surprised. But I know he's excited
I've been humbled.
After the loss to Iowa.
Yeah, I've been humbled. Listen, I heard a little bit from Chris Styles yesterday. I heard from you. My guy, I haven't heard anything from Caleb yet. Thank you. Probably won't hear anything from him till after the game. And my boss, I talked to my boss from my job today. And the first thing he said was, "You've been having too much fun knowing that Iowa beat Maryland on Friday." So I kind of just been humble until Saturday. But if we get a close game, if Ohio State, if the game is within 10, oh man, I'm gonna treat it as if we won.
Oh my God, we know it's not gonna be within 10. I thought you and Caleb were gonna hook up.
We are. I'm gonna reach out to him. I gotta get out of the DMV first, man. I've been stuck here for almost a week. So once I get out of here and I'm headed that way, and I'm gonna reach out to him and see how we meet up. See how we gonna meet up at the shoe. That way, I need to see him, and because I'm gonna be neutral on Saturday. I'm not wearing no red, no yellow,
it's
no
red
gray.
though. It's hard because it's red.
I'm wearing black. I can't even wear black because that's Maryland's colors. I'm probably
just wear a red T-shirt.
I'm gonna wear orange. Yeah, I'm gonna wear a red T-shirt with nothing on it because I'm neutral. There you go. I'm neutral come Saturday.
Because both colors are primarily red, right? But you can really do that.
Pretty much.
So yesterday we gave some stats about where the Browns are at. So when it comes to running backs, yes, did you watch the game the other night?
Which one?
The Las Vegas in
Yeah, I
Detroit.
watched it. I watched it.
Okay,
Yeah,
did you say
yeah.
Eckler? That's actually my running back too for fantasy, doing one-handed pull-ups.
Mm-hmm.
That
He
was insane.
one of the strongest dudes in the NFL. You know, a lot of players have been saying like this dude is one of the like a freak of nature when it comes to strength. So I'm pretty sure like we're gonna have. I expect us to have some type of trouble because I mean Eckler is a better receiving back in my opinion than he is a straight up running back. So
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
out in open space, he's going to get them linebackers some trouble. So, you know, the linebackers have been kind of quiet these past few weeks, which is good. You know, if you don't hear anything about them, that means they're doing their job. But expecting, I'm expecting some of our linebackers, Mac Wilson, JOK, Malcolm
Yeah.
Smith, Taki. I'm expecting all of them guys to step up this week and shut down their running backs.
Greg Newsome is not going to be playing, so Greedy should be starting again.
Gosh. Greedy been stepping up in the absence of Greg Newsome. I'm actually excited, man, to see Greedy and Greg Newsome out there at the same time. You know, I feel like this is the best wide receiver room I've seen since when we had Joe Hayden, T.J. Ward, Buster Screen, all of those guys. So I really like this cornerback room that we have. Right now that should be able to make some noise. That's why I'm glad that Stephon Gilmore got picked up because there's a lot of people out there kind of saying, oh yeah, he would be a great fit for the Browns, and I'm kind of like, how would he fit in? You know, like we kind of already loaded there.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Where's Mac Jones at?
What Mac Jones, the quarterback?
No, Mac. What is
Wilson?
Mac's last name? Yeah, thank you, Mac Wilson.
Man, he's kind of been quiet. I mean, he only really got, I want to say Sunday, he had about 20 snaps, 20 out of 62. So, no, I mean, Mac is slowly but surely losing that spot to JOK. You know, he's slowly but surely losing that strong side linebacker spot to JOK. So, I think, in my opinion, they're going to try to hold on to Mac, but I could see Mac being let go. Probably trade it next year, you know, because of his on and off play on the field. You know, it's not consistent enough.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting. So obviously we'll do our scoring at the end of the show, but let's get a little bit into what we got coming up next. We got baseball coming up next.
Yes, man. We both kind of butchered that Yankees pick. Oh God.
What did I say? I had the Yankees.
We both picked the Yankees. Yeah.
Oh, I did. Oh,
yeah.
Well.
My guy Garrett Cole, man, got butchered last night. You know,
very early.
Oh my goodness!
When did he get those home? When he get that home run up?
Yep, he gave a home run up, and they took him out in the third. I didn't even watch his. I didn't even catch the game to be able to see what he was doing. I caught it a little bit after when they was already down 4-1, I believe. Yeah, I think they was down 4-1 when I turned it on. So
Boston was very aggressive.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but you know, I mean, one thing about it, I didn't take into it. You know, this is a rivalry, so it doesn't matter how loaded the Yankees is. Boston is always going to play extremely hard because honestly, they don't care too much about the Yankees. So I really didn't take that into a thought, but no, the Red Sox handled business last night. They did what they were supposed to be. They did what they were supposed to do. They beat the Yankees well enough to the point where, you know, we're talking about if Garrett Cole is worth his 134 million, something around there. Yeah. $134 million contract. And if a lot of these guys that they traded for, Joey Gallo and the others, are they going to stick around? So the Yankees got a lot of decisions to make. You know, they one of the decisions I feel like they need to make is to get rid of that silly rule where you need to shave your face. I think that's such a silly rule.
For who?
The Yankees. The Yankees is the only team in Major League Baseball that require their players. If you notice, all the Yankees players got baby faces because the Yankees make them shave their faces. I think that's such a silly rule. A silly rule.
So you got to look prepubescent though. I kind of like that.
Nah, I need the facial hair. I went to war to get this facial hair, so I need it. I need
my
this
God.
facial hair.
So who you got coming tonight out of the NL? You got you have St. Louis and you have who's playing tonight?
The Dodgers.
Okay,
St.
thank
Louis
you.
and the Dodgers. Man, I'm still picking with my pick, the Dodgers. You know, they lost Clayton Kershaw for the postseason. At first I kind of felt like that would be a big hit, but then I had to remember, man, you had 3 guys that's in the running for the Cy Young on this team. So
Yeah.
I don't think that it really will make a difference, you know, because again, they got Mad Max, you got Julio Urias, whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Dodgers are gonna handle business tonight. I think it's gonna be a hard fought game. I ain't about to sit here and sleep on St. Louis like I slept on the Red Sox last night. I think St. Louis is gonna put up a hard fight, but I just think the Dodgers is the better team. So I think the Dodgers is gonna take it. I ain't gonna give a score on it because I was way off yesterday. But I think the Dodgers.
Who did I pick? You wrote it down, don't you? Don't you?
St. Louis. I got it right here. St. Louis.
Okay.
You picked St. Louis, yeah.
Yeah, and think about Trevor Bauer. The thing on him has been a little quiet. Trevor Bauer pitch again in the league?
Well, in the league, I think he will. I don't think he'll pitch again for the Dodgers, but I think he'll pitch again in the league.
Yeah, well, you know,
I think he's gonna go to. I think he's gonna go somewhere random. He's gonna end up like on. He's gonna end up somewhere like I'm thinking he's gonna end up somewhere like Seattle Mariners or something.
Because he ain't pitching for the Dodgers ever again.
No.
I mean, not for the Dodgers, but not for the Cleveland baseball team. Because I still your final appearance in the Indians, the Cleveland baseball team.
Man, you had a temper tantrum.
and you know, normally Tito reserves his anger for me, but this time it was at Trevor Bauer. It was just funny, you know, to see that happen. It was sad, but it was kind of funny to see him act like that. And you know, I mean, he's coming off of Cy Young himself, and you know, this is just kind of crazy how everything has kind of played out for him. So I think it'll definitely be interesting, and I'll be watching the game tonight. It starts at 8:00 on Fox, I believe. So yeah, baseball is about to get interesting because I believe that Tampa Bay will come out of the AL. So I think that they'll beat Boston. And then who else is?
You got Tampa over the White Sox?
Tampa Bay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do, actually. Yeah, I got the White Sox beating Houston.
Okay. I got the White Sox winning it all this year. I think the White Sox.
Do?
Yeah, I think the White Sox is right now. I think if all of their hitters come together pitching, I don't think they have the best pitching rotation, but I feel like they have
3 though. Carlos Rondon, and 2 other pitchers as pretty much lights out. The Lyle guy, I forgot, and then they got
Lucas Giolito. I'm tripping.
Yeah,
Lucas Giolito, Carlos Rondon, and who I can't think of the third one.
Lyle or something like that.
Okay, all right. So, all right. Well, all right. I was a little off on that one, but I think, man,
it's okay. I'm off all the time.
Luis Roberts.
We having a little technical difficulty. I think he's having some issues right now, reception issues. Can you hear me? Usually a little reception, but my picks also in baseball was going to be for the National League. My pick is going to be I had San Fran coming out of the NL. I had Milwaukee beating Atlanta, and then I had San Fran beating, well, I guess the Cardinals. If I picked the Cardinals, but I switched it up. Marshawn, can you hear me? You good? Marshawn? I think he texted me. Okay, he got to come back into the show. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break right now. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Here at WOVU 95.9 FM, our general manager, Jay Williams, is preparing to launch an initiative pertaining to COVID-19 long haulers. It will entail stories about individuals who have survived from the virus, but have endured long-term symptoms. You may think that long haulers are only above age 40, but far more individuals aged between 18 to 40 than you think have experienced long-haul COVID-19. One example is 18-year-old Lily Rose Clifton, who is a freshman at the University of Washington. Despite being active leading up to the pandemic, she is one of roughly 10% of individuals who have suffered from long-haul COVID symptoms. For the past 15 months, Clifton had been homebound with prolonged symptoms, including dizziness, rapid heart rate, and brain fog. The latter she reports taking medication for. She has expressed needing to seek disability accommodations, just like many students with long-term COVID-19 symptoms. But how many will actually receive them? After all, there are many barriers to students receiving assistance. Many students may feel discouraged from asking professionals out of fear of not being believed and therefore rejected. Many students may feel that science will fail them, leading to a misdiagnosis and therefore not being eligible. It is already hard enough for students to function daily, but for those with long-term COVID symptoms, fighting barriers to accommodations will only increase the difficulty, both in and out of the classroom. We at WOVU 95.9 FM want to let you know about our initiative to tell the stories of COVID-19 long haulers, like Lily Rose Clifton, because it is imperative that every student who needs assistance is treated fairly and has accessibility to the resources they need. You can also help. If you have a student or know a student who has had prolonged COVID symptoms and think that they may need accommodations, encourage them to do so without hesitation. Clifton's case represents just one of many with long-haul COVID-19, but this information is not just for students. Here at WOVU 95.9 FM, we want to hear from you. If you have had long-haul COVID-19, then we are looking for you. Tune in daily because we will soon provide a phone number for you to call and share your story with us. This is WOVU 95.9 FM. Our voice is United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
If you notice a loved one talking about guilt or shame, changing their eating or sleeping habits, taking extreme risks, or talking about death often, they may be thinking about suicide. Ask them, are you thinking about killing yourself? If they say yes, tell them, life is better with you here. Help them get connected to resources. Call Cuyahoga County's 24-hour suicide prevention hotline, 216-623-6888, or go online to withyouhere.org. That's withyouhere.org. Everyone deserves to know that life is better with you here. This message is brought to you by the Adams Board of Cuyahoga County and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, Burton Bell Carr Community Radio.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I am here with Marshawn Powers, who is out designated for assignment. See, I made that sound really sporty right there. Designated for assignment, like in baseball, who's on assignment out in Maryland. Marshawn, we were just finishing up baseball, so I said for the National League, I did have the Giants coming out, and then I had them because you had the Braves versus Milwaukee. So I have Milwaukee coming out of that Braves series, and then I have San Fran, beating Milwaukee, and then I have Tampa Bay taking it all. So White Sox are a good possibility. Timmy Anderson is what makes that team run. So he has to be top notch as well as that pitching. And I believe they can get it done against Tampa Bay. I just think Tampa Bay is kind of hungry, especially how they lost last year in that COVID World Series against how they lost
the Dodgers.
To the Dodgers.
Yeah. Well, that was the
hungry.
manager's fault they lost. You don't pull out your best player, in a game, in a much needed game, that you need against a dominant team like the Dodgers. You know, I feel like Tampa had a game between Glasnow and what's the other one that traded to the Padres? That I forget his name. They got pulled out last year, but I mean they had a solid 2-man rotation on, and not even including the other guys that's in the rotation. They had a solid squad to go in there. You know, you had Kiermaier, so I think that Tampa isn't too far off. I wouldn't be surprised if they're back in that position and they do win it all. You know, I mean, I know this is random and has nothing to do with it, but if Tampa makes it, you know what, I would love to see them play in them old Devil Rays, the black Devil Rays uniforms. I love those uniforms, man. So if Tampa do make it, man, I would love to see them playing those.
I might have to Google that. I don't know what you're talking about. I might have
black
to Google
ones,
it.
the black with the highlight Devil Ray letters. I remember those jerseys. Those jerseys used to be crazy.
Tampa Bay. But while I'm Googling those, it seems like we got a big matchup in college football this Saturday, huh?
Yeah, we do. You know, we got the number 7 Ohio State Buckeyes going up against my Maryland Terrapins. You know, my guys is coming into the horseshoe this weekend. You know, we're down our best receiver, Dante Demas, but I feel like it don't get no worse than what you saw last week against Iowa. I don't think that the Terrapins, you know, a team that's, you know, number 3 in offense, you know, they have a better defense than Ohio State Buckeyes. So I just kind of feel like, you know, this is a game where you're going to have to play your A game. You know, you're going to have to play the best of the best. Yeah, they have a better defense. Ohio State gives up 21.5 points. Maryland only gives up besides against Iowa, they only was giving up 14 points a game until Iowa came into College Park. But, you know, I give you this, you know, Maryland going to have to play a tough game. You know, Ohio State, you know, averages 556 yards of offense per game. That leads the nation. That's better than Alabama. That's better than anybody. They average 8.6 yards a play. Alabama don't even average 7. So Ohio State offensively is a juggernaut. I mean, Maryland gonna have his work cut out. You know, I mean, geez, Louise. Maryland
that's
gonna have
a lot
work
of
cut
yards.
Out.
That's a lot of offense.
Yeah,
and so I'm figuring that's equating to a healthy time of possession too. So what do you think? Who do you think gonna win?
Come on now, Rachel.
I mean, you're the most.
In this position.
You, you ride or die for the Terps, man.
Man, all right, listen. I love my guy, the Godfather, Mike Loxley. I love College Park. I'm actually, as soon as I get off of here, I'm in DC right now, but I'm actually, as soon as I leave here, I'm gonna go over to College Park to Looney's Pub and have me some good seafood. But none of that means anything. Ohio State is gonna blow Maryland.
Quit talking about the seafood, man. You making me want stuff.
Ohio State is gonna handle business against Maryland convincingly. I think. You know, 556 yards of offense. I mean, it's hard to compete with that. You know, Maryland, you lose your number one option. The offense ran through Dante Demas. He's going for the season with a knee injury. I don't think Maryland's run game with Tommy Fleet Davis is compared to what you're gonna get from Trayvon Henderson. You know, Maryland is not as deep behind their starters as Ohio State. So I think Ohio State will win at least 17 points or more.
When you talk about a team that average almost 600 yards of offense, and that's crazy how that's even possible. But they haven't gotten to the heart of the Big Ten schedule just yet. So they're lightly gracing it.
This is the heart of the Big Ten schedule right here.
I'm talking about when they play like a team like Penn State. Sorry, not the terms. Sorry. Anyway, you know, I'm just messing with you. What's the spread on this? Do you know? Do you know what the spread on this one is? I'm thinking.
And
What'd you say?
21.5 points.
You said 12.5 points.
21.5 points.
You breaking up a little bit, buddy. 21.5 points is a spread. I definitely think Ohio State could put up best of spread by over 30 points. So, oh my God, it's 656. So I guess we gotta get to our predictions with Browns, I guess. Or did you still want to do the 3 games of the week?
We could do 3 games of the week. I could do those pretty quickly at the end, but we could do just.
All right, so we lost Marshawn, so I guess his reception wasn't the best where he's at. So 3 games of the week that I'm going to be looking at. One of the games that look like is going to be really good is going to be the Bengals against the Packers, and they're actually going. Green Bay is actually coming to the Bengals, so I think that it's going to be interesting to see if the Bengals are really as good as advertised, and with Joe Burrows, if they're able to actually do something against the Packers. The other game that I think I kind of like is the Broncos versus the Steelers. See how far the Steelers can sink at this point. And then another one I think is going to be a good one is going to be Bills versus the Chiefs. So I don't understand why the Chiefs always get the tougher opponents at home. They was able to get the Browns at home, not able to get the Bills at home. They were able to get the Chargers, I believe, they was able to get them at home as well. So I think that Bills and Chiefs one could be interesting because it could be a potential playoff game as well. Granted, the Browns have the number 1 seed as of right now. We'd be tied for that. But I think that's going to have some playoff implications. But I definitely think it's going to be interesting to see what the Packers and Bengals do and the Broncos and Steelers, because the Broncos was undefeated and they kind of got railroaded by the Ravens, and the Colts take on the Ravens. So that's no big deal right there. When it comes to those 3 games, I'm thinking the Packers will be able to pull that out at least by 10 points. Let's go 30-20. Chiefs and Bills. I look at this one could be a potentially more high-scoring affair. I can look at this one as 35-31 Bills. And when I think about the Broncos versus the Steelers, right now the Steelers are kind of in the tailspin. So I'm looking at the Steelers to potentially lose this game over the Denver Broncos, even though they're at home. They've lost games at home. So I look at the Broncos possibly going 27 to 20. Hey, Marshawn, you back, buddy?
I'm back.
I just went through my picks.
All right, so my 3, I'll give my quick 3 because I heard what you said. So my quick 3, I went with my locks. I went with the Packers over the Bengals. That's pretty easy. I went with the Cowboys over the Giants. That's pretty easy. And I took the Buccaneers over the Miami Dolphins. I picked 3 easy ones.
All right, quick. Got less than a minute left. Browns,
all right,
Chargers
and for the Browns versus Chargers, I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one. I think the Chargers is going to beat us. I think it's going to come into a shootout. I don't think my Browns is going to win every game, and I think this is one of the games that, we probably will take that along. So I'm going to go Chargers 28, Browns 20.
Browns 35, and Chargers 28. And we are out of here. Her in the Huddle, WOVU 95.9 FM.